You know what's strange? Some of the most perceptive, deeply observant, and emotionally intelligent people you will ever meet in your life didn't develop those abilities through reading psychology books, sitting in classrooms, or years of peaceful meditation. No, they developed them because at some point in their lives they had to. Their nervous system was trained not by choice, but by circumstances. Circumstances that required them to read rooms, predict shifting moods, and think several steps ahead, just to survive and feel safe. Psychologists have recently started calling this phenomenon traumatic intelligence. Trauma doesn't just wound people. In many cases, it sharpens them. It rewires the brain's amygdala and prefrontal cortex to detect subtle signals that 99% of the population completely misses. If you've ever been told you're too sensitive, too observant, or that you overthink everything, stay with me until the very end of this video. We are breaking down the 10 undeniable signs of traumatic intelligence. And by the time we finish, you will finally understand why your deepest pain actually created your greatest psychological superpower. Sign number 1. You can read a room before anyone says a single word. You don't just walk into a space, you unconsciously scan it. Almost instantly, something shifts inside you. A quiet alertness. You immediately pick up on the unseen tension in someone's posture, or a micro-expression that crosses a person's face for less than a second. This isn't some magical intuition. It's extreme pattern recognition. Your brain was trained from an early age to scan your environment for emotional data. Because growing up, recognizing a shift in an adult's mood before they exploded was your ultimate defense mechanism. Your brain learned that scanning kept you safe. Sign number 2. You are deeply attuned to other people's hidden pain. You notice when someone is struggling, even when they are smiling and swearing to everyone that they're fine. You sense the heavy shift in their energy long before they've even had a chance to process it themselves. Psychologists refer to this as hyperempathy. It almost always develops in people who grew up needing to constantly track the unstable emotional states of their caregivers or family members. You learn to feel what others are feeling because your environment required you to be a human emotional barometer. You carry their emotional weight, whether you want to or not. Sign number 3. You are an exceptional problem solver under extreme pressure. When things fall apart and everyone around you starts panicking, something fascinating happens inside your nervous system. You go completely calm, cold, and strategic. You don't freeze, you adapt. Researchers describe this as stress inoculation. Because your brain experienced high levels of early adversity, it is perfectly calibrated to manage high-stakes situations. Why? Because high-stakes situations were simply your normal. While others see overwhelming chaos, you step into an organized mode. You assess the situation, identify solutions, and act without hesitation. The stress you survived prepared you for moments like this. Sign number 4. You think deeply about human behavior, almost compulsively. You don't just accept things at face value. You replay conversations in your head at 2 a.m., analyzing why people do what they do, and searching for the hidden meaning behind actions that others don't even register. This depth of psychological thinking isn't random. It was forged by years of trying to understand the unpredictable behavior of the people around you. You became a masterful student of human nature because understanding people felt essential to your survival. As a result, you can predict how someone will react before they even make a move. Sign number 5. The chameleon reflex. If you have traumatic intelligence, you unconsciously change your personality to match what the room needs to stay peaceful. If someone is angry, you become invisible. If someone is sad, you become the ultimate healer. You learned early on that being exactly who you are wasn't always safe, so you became a mirror. You give people exactly what they need to see to keep the environment stable. While this makes you incredibly likable and highly adaptable in social settings, it can also leave you completely exhausted. wondering who you actually are when nobody else is in the room. Sign number 6, you have a highly developed sense of self-reliance. You don't wait for people to rescue you. You build solutions independently and quietly. This level of extreme self-sufficiency often surprises people, but developmentally, it makes complete sense. When the environment in your childhood wasn't reliably supportive, your brain learned to internalize resourcefulness. Depending on others felt incredibly risky, so absolute competence became your default setting. You learned early on that asking for help wasn't always an option, and relying on people led to disappointment. So you developed a quiet strength, a belief that if you just do it yourself, you'll never be let down. Sign number 7. You feel things much more intensely than others. Music hits you differently. A sad movie can ruin your week. Injustice bothers you on a deep, visceral level, and a simple, kind gesture from a stranger can genuinely bring you to tears. This emotional depth is a hallmark of traumatic intelligence. Your amygdala has become highly sensitized. The result is a person who doesn't just observe the world, they absorb it. You feel life at a frequency that most people don't even have access to. It is a beautiful, profound gift, but it also means you carry the heavy weight of the world's pain inside your chest. Sign number 8. You struggle to trust easily, but your loyalty is profound. Your threshold for trust is incredibly high. You don't let people in just because they are nice to you. Cognitive psychologists call this adaptive skepticism. Your brain learned early that not all signals of safety were genuine, so it built strong filters. You analyze people's actions over time, completely ignoring their words. But here is the beautiful part. Once someone actually passes those filters and earns your trust, you are fiercely loyal. Your relationships are built on solid, unbreakable foundations because you don't hand out trust easily. But when you do, it means everything. Sign number 9. You suffer from severe social hangovers. Because your brain is constantly scanning rooms, hyper-empathizing with everyone's pain, and analyzing every micro-expression, socializing takes a massive toll on your cognitive battery. For a normal person, a party is just a party. But for someone with traumatic intelligence, it's a high-speed data processing event. You are downloading thousands of psychological cues per minute. This is why, after a few hours of socializing, you need days of complete isolation in a dark, quiet room just to reset your nervous system and recharge your brain. And finally, sign number 10. You have a deep allergy to superficiality. You absolutely despise small talk, fake pleasantries, and shallow relationships. Because you've seen the darkest, most real parts of human nature, pretending that everything is perfectly fine when it isn't, feels completely exhausting to you. You don't want to talk about the weather. You want to know what keeps people awake at 3 a.m. You crave absolute authenticity, raw honesty, and deep psychological connection. Because to a brain wired for survival, the only thing that feels truly safe is the truth. Everything you've heard today, the perceptiveness, the empathy, the analytical mind, these are not weaknesses. They are genuine cognitive and emotional adaptations. What others might label as overthinking is actually your mind working tirelessly to adapt and understand the world better than most. Your past did not break you. It upgraded your mind. It gave you traumatic intelligence. If this video helped you understand yourself better, you are not going to want to miss our breakdown on the dark psychology of quiet people. Click the video on your screen right now to discover why silent people hold the ultimate psychological advantage. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you over there.